Welcome to Hack Shack Studios. RT Bear here. We are live from the place where I draw. I draw and write from my creative haven, which is right here for the time being. I'm moving soon. We are in Southern California, and this house is in escrow, so I will be leaving soon. My new place of residence will be Texas, somewhere in the Lone Star State. We are still searching. We are still actively searching. Man, there are so many decisions to be made, and I have not had much time to draw, to write, to do much of anything other than this house. Yeah, so I haven't been streaming much. I haven't been going on people's shows, and sadly, I have not been working very much at the desk. I've had a couple hours, maybe a day here, a day there to work, but not a whole lot. Yes, shout out to the Woodlands. That's a beautiful area, beautiful area. And most likely that is where we will end up. I like the area a lot. There's Cypress and then there's Spring, Texas, which we like the houses. We just have to explore the area a little bit more, and I think that's going to involve a trip. We're going to have to get some boots on the ground for that one. We're going to have to roam around. We're going to have to get our hands dirty. When I say we, I mean Pamela, my wife, and I. Update news on Chrono Mechanics. You guys, I saw Kevin in the chat. Everything's fulfilled. All the books are out. Every one of your orders is out. All the Chrono Mechanics books have been shipped with the exception of Kevin's. And I believe Pamela came back from the post office with your order, Kevin. Yours is special because there's a lot of original artwork and stuff. So I believe she got it weighed and got some pricing done and things like that at the local post office. So I imagine your order, Kevin, will be going out soon. But everybody else, your order went out. Keep a lookout for your mailbox, and it should be coming soon. And and all the new orders, like the last couple of days, we got some orders on Chrono. Those went out too, so there's no delay. So if you guys order a Chrono Mechanics book today, I imagine within the next couple of days it will be shipped, because we are all caught up, meaning that anybody that orders a Chrono book and backs a book, you should get that ASAP, because we don't have to wait for the books to be printed. So this is a really good time to buy the book. So I hope all you guys love the book. Give me your reviews. I have been getting some reviews, and one of those I'm going to go over today. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I got a review from Back to the Drawing Board. So anybody who knows Back to the Drawing Board, I'm not sure his name, but let him know that I'm going to do a review of his review. And the reason I'm going to do that is, one, it was a fun review. It's fun. It's fun to hear people talk about your story and your characters, because you're never really sure if it's connecting and how it's connecting with people. So his review is really good. Like he understood most of it. There's a couple things that he was scratching his head about. So I think that'll be fun to go in there and kind of go over everything and say what he got right and what he didn't get right, but not in a snarky way, just in a fun way, because I was very flattered that he took the time to do the review and everything. And for the most part, he really did like the book. He said it was a really creative endeavor. Bless me heart. Yes, you're blessed, past Master Dan. I got my Chrono book. Yes, Todd. Awesome. And before I go any further, I know I'm saying a lot. Mr. Kata. That's a dated reference. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming in, backing the book, supporting it, being patient with all the trials and tribulations to get that book done. Mostly the printer and those delays. The book had been done months before all the delays. So we got the book done actually earlier than I had scheduled, The printing is what took all the time, and that is not cool. It's not cool at all. Hillbilly rock star. Yeah, yeah. What not to like? That's Doug. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Like Skinner. Yeah. Okay, Spirits Car. I think Art's review of a Chrono Mechanics review may be biased. Yeah, Horseshack. Yeah. Pamela found some sound bites from old Welcome Back Cotter. So while we were having breakfast this morning, we were going over some Vinny Barbarino's isms and Horseshack isms. I think the one that stands out is Vinny trying to tell Horseshack how to be cool. And I'll tell you right now, if anybody actually thought that Vinny Barbarino was cool, he was not cool. He was a clown. He's doing this dance. He's like telling him how to be cool, and he's doing the Vinny Barbarino dance, like ba 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 Barbarino. Not cool. Not cool, man. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going back. I don't want to spend too much time in the chat. It's fun though. I could spend all day, and sometimes I do with you guys. Okay, the green laser. Hey Art, I look forward to reading Chrono Mechanics once I finally get it. They all are on their way, so you should get it soon. And you guys, if you don't get it, well, give it a couple weeks. Give it a couple weeks, and then if you haven't received your copy, then get a hold of us, and then we'll look into your orders and give you tracking numbers and all that other stuff. Art needs a hat. Oh, I need a cowboy hat, maybe for Texas. George says I haven't. Oh, I think I read that. All right, Chrono Mechanics Volume 2, when? I talked with Pamela the other day about this. So she actually said it. I've been toying with it, but when your wife says it, then you know you can move forward on it, because I mean it's a partnership, and unless we get, unless we sign off on each other's ideas, then it doesn't feel right to move forward on it. And so she was saying with some of the house money from the sale, we should start hiring other people to help us out, because it's pretty much a two-man operation at this point. So hire some people to help out, and so we can get more projects out to you guys, because one, it is time consuming, and their labor's of love. So it's not like working for Marvel and DC when I could detach from it and just move really, really quickly. Sometimes it's really hard to detach from it, because you go, all I have to do is spend an extra hour on this and it will be exactly what I want, versus it's not exactly what I want, but I need to hit the deadline. So it is kind of a love-hate thing, but I do like it where I do have that option, but it does take, it takes a little bit more time for me to do things because of that. Yeah, Vinny Barbarino. My wife's like, you're a perfectionist. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a perfectionist. It probably is, but it's actually more of just wanting to get it right. You know what I mean? Just to get, I mean, it's starting to get dark in here. I don't know why. It's really bright outside. I just want to get it right. So, and sometimes it takes like trial and error to get like a pose right, or a mood right, or, a layout done good. Done good. Yeah. So like even the orders that we got last week and stuff, those went out as well. So anybody that just backed the book, you'll be getting your book soon as well. I am in the process of restructuring the Indiegogo campaign, the in-demand store. So I'm kind of going from campaign mode into more of a store mode. I wish I had more time, because I got some t-shirt ideas and some other stuff that I want to bring into the shop, but time being what it is, I mean, we just like all day, all day yesterday, they had the buyer was brought in. What do they call that? Where they oversee everything. They have an expert that comes in and checks out your air conditioning and your heating and your electrical and your plumbing and all that other stuff. And that took all freaking day. Rocking the hair gel. No, I'm not. This is just my hair. Dude, I don't put anything in my hair. That's gay. No, it's not. Remember when you could say that's gay and it wasn't offensive and people would just laugh? No. That's weird. No golden time cards claimed yet. And I wanted to clarify for you guys. If you're hesitating, there's an address on the box. So just return it to that address or get a hold of me through the Indiegogo site. And I can give you an address where to send the golden time card once you fill it out. So some people have said they have gotten them, but nobody has sent them back to me for the free drawing yet. So if you guys don't know, let me see. I think I saw one in here somewhere. I had a golden time card. Where is it? Yeah, I had one here. Let me check behind me. Everything's a mess. Everything's a mess. Wow, a golden time card would have been cool to have right now. It would have actually worked real well with making my point. Sometimes I think I'm more organized than I am. It's gotta be here somewhere. That is so weird. Yeah, it was just here. It's been bugging me for days now, and now I can't find it. But anyways, it's about the size of an actual time card. It's golden, and you fill it out. You give me your hours worked and days, and then put your backer number in and send it to me, and I'll do a free Doug the D drawing for you guys. So that'll be fun. Home inspection, yeah, that's what it's called. Thank you, Sierra Whiskey. Inspector, inspector detector. Wait, where is the golden time card? 1 out of every 10 backers got a golden time card. So, well, there's 70s. There were 70 cards that were sent out. And so if you get a golden time card, God, I wish I had it here. What the hell, man? They were just here. That's so weird. It's bugging me now. Oh, ahaha! I found it. Boom, ba doo, ba doo, ba doo. Okay, this is a golden time card. Look at that. This lighting does not do it justice. So if you get one of these, fill it out right up here where it says number. Give me your backer number. Fill out your hours. Sign it up here, and then send it to me. And like I said, on the box, my address is on the box. My mailing address, or if you threw away the box that the book came in, just contact me through Indiegogo, and I'll give you an address where to send your time card. So this Sierra Whiskey is the golden time card. So like I said, 1 out of every 10 backers received one. So 70 of these went out. So 70 of you guys can get a free drawing. So I finally found it. And this is the book, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so dark in here. I don't know why. I wonder, I'm going to try to lighten up because as the day goes, it's going to get darker in here. And then I'll just be in the shadows and you guys will go, what? I can't see you. Let's brighten this up a little bit. Does that help? It just pales me out. That's a little bit better gain. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, let me hit apply and okay. So my camera's good. Yeah, because it's really bright in here. The camera's picking up, making it look like it's dark. Yeah, here's the book, you guys. They're all printed up. They look amazing. You guys have been tweeting these to me that you got your book, and here it is, retrofit. And then here is the work in progress book. So this is the behind the scenes book, and it's got a bunch of cool stuff in it, some drawings, some drawings. Here's this came out so cool. The work in progress opening page. So look at that. Yeah, so those are going out, and so keep an eye for those. I was not in the lucky group. That's horrible. That is horrible. I didn't get a golden time card. I call shenanigans. Well, you know why, Spirits Car, you didn't get yours? Because I have yours right here. This was yours. But for that crack, you don't get it now. You don't get it. I have the power. I have the ultimate power. Bleach tan. Yeah, that's me. Bleach tan. With all the darkness, art looks like Leslie Nielsen. That's a vampire. I like Leslie Nielsen. That guy's hilarious. He was a serious actor at one point. All right. Well, you know what? It's going to take more than that fist shaking to get yourself a golden time card. All right. Okay. So that was the good news. The good news is, yeah, all the books have gone out. So give it a couple weeks. And if you haven't got your book, then get a hold of us. The golden time card, I kind of let you guys know what that's all about. Wait a minute. Donald DeLay says, I call BS. Pamela has the ultimate. Yeah, she does, actually. You're right. You are correct, my friend. So, yeah, I still can't believe I'm actually live on YouTube right now. This was a miracle that I had a window of time to hang out with you guys. So now the bad news. No, there's no bad news. This is going to be fun news. So this guy, Back to the Drawing Board, did a review of Chrono Mechanics. And it's really fun. So I thought we would go over this. How long is it? It's probably too long. Is it 22 minutes? We could probably condense it. So I'm going to share with you, and then we're going to go over this video, because he says a lot of cool stuff. So he gets a lot of the points, but there's a few things that that I want to set him straight on. So let's screen share. Is that how I do this? Screen share, boom, boom. And then I go over to this. And so hopefully you guys can see his YouTube channel. So his YouTube is Back to the Drawing Board. He's got 50 subscribers. I think he's a cool guy. So if you guys want to go, give him a thumbs up for the video and then subscribe to his channel. That'd be cool. And so here it is.
Hey folks, it's Nate. It's time I got back to the drawing board, and today we're looking at another indie comic project. This one from Untitled called Chrono Mechanics Retrofit. This is a re-release of an old project that Untitled worked on, and it's an interesting story. The writing and art is by Art Tiber with co-writer Pamela Tiber, which I presume is Art's wife, could also be his sister.
No, it is not my sister.
But I just don't know off the top of my head. All in all, this is a good quality book. It's got
look at that book.
Nice binding. The cover stock is really
all right. Let's get into the heart of the review here.
It's, well, not as stiff as the cover stock, feel just as good. So this is a great quality physical product, and it was a real joy to flip through and read and just feel it in the hand. This is
all right, you guys. I just want to warn you too. There are going to be some spoiler alerts in this video, so if you guys haven't read the book yet, you might want to put it on mute and then come back.
Like a high quality magazine. And in a lot of ways, for the kind of comic it is, which is, an American full color comic, that is probably the best way to consume it.
Okay, let's move.
I don't have a problem with newsprint.
Let's move forward. He's mostly talking about the quality of the printing.
Draws the eye naturally to where the emphasis is. The panel layouts are great. Just look at this page. It's got good white space, and all the dialogue can kind of fall. Most of the dialogue can kind of fall into there. It's got a great panel layout that just draws the eye naturally through the action. And some of that is probably the way the lettering is laid out, and that helps your eye know where to go as well. But all in all,
I spend a lot of time on laying out balloons, man. I Xerox copies of the page, and then I go over exactly where the placements will go. So I really scrutinize and agonize how it's going to read and where the balloon should go. Because one of the things too I've always liked about comics, like John Workman, and when he works with Walter Simonson, like how the lettering becomes part of the art, like it becomes part of the story. So they're almost inseparable. So that's what I really try to do with the layout, and working with Jeff Eckelberry on the lettering. He's the guy that did the physical lettering. That's what we were striving for. Also, when you read this, he didn't point it out. He kind of does in an abstract, but not like, he doesn't put the nail on the head. Each one of the Chrono characters has a different font. So each one of them speaks with a different font. So some of them even have different word balloons, shapes, and stuff like that. So we really wanted to make each one of these characters stand out from the other. So he does pick up on it, but kind of more, I guess, more in a subliminal way. So let's keep going.
It's fantastic. However, I know the style isn't quite for everyone, because it is that kind of cartoony, again, almost a Hanna-Barbera or 80s animation kind of style of art. And
I like to say it's Hanna-Barbera meets like Mobius. So it's got, you can't really tell by the coloring, but when you look at the black and white artwork, you can definitely see the European Mobius influences. So it's kind of like high-end. I like to think of it as like high-end, Hanna-Barbera, because I think like Hanna-Barbera, the actual animation aside, there's a lot of great designs. Like a lot of those characters are just brilliantly designed. And so I take it as a complete compliment when somebody says Hanna-Barbera, because I take it as like character design, more so than, like, oh, it's bad animation, you know what I mean? And then it's got a little sophistication with the Mobius rendering. I should do a black and white version, but let's keep going.
If that bothers you, maybe this isn't your book. I know RT Bear has black and white, which I believe is in a more realistic style. It's a spy story, where this is more of a tongue-in-cheek comedy. I actually haven't read black and white, so I actually can't say how tongue-in-cheek, how serious, or how slapstick that story is. But this is a fairly slapstick, humorous kind of a story, and I think the art really fits it. So let's talk about the story itself. The premise is that time is an actual machine, and it breaks down, and people have to go out and fix it. And when people on the repair teams come up short, when they get injured, or in this case die, they are just replaced last minute from people who are somehow judged fit. There's a computer that does all this, and we just take the story's word that that's how it works. And
I love it when people get the concept. I really do. And that makes me feel good, and can roll with the concept. It is a broad kind of comedy. So there's not a lot of reality or detail given. It just kind of moves, and I think this guy really got it. I think his name's Nate. I'd like to start calling him Nate instead of back to the drawing board. So let's continue to see what Nate has to say.
I don't have a problem with that. Again, it's kind of a slapstick, tongue-in-cheek story, and it has a great sci-fi premise. There's we have to keep time working correctly, and if people aren't working on the mechanics of time properly, then all kinds of things go wrong. The story is
God, he gets it. I love it. I love it, man. You guys don't understand, like, as a creative person, when you hear this stuff mirrored back to you, you're like, oh my gosh, he actually gets it. It fills me with joy. It fills me with so much joy. So let's continue.
About a team that loses its fourth man, and they have to, the computer pulls in this Doug guy from somewhere in the time stream, actually the 70s. He's a rocker, and he gets pulled in to be the fourth man on this team. And He works with an Italian Renaissance man, Caravaggio. He works with a caveman.
Okay, it's Caravaggio, like the rug or the carpet. And also, I had a review. It was so funny, you guys. A guy. It was so funny because it was kind of like a compusalt, which is an insult and a compliment at the same time. And so he was saying, he was praising the book, how like each one of the characters is individual and they all speak differently, and you can tell just by reading the dialogue which character is which, and you know, and so on and so forth. And then in the same breath he goes, Caravaggio is an Italian stereotype that borderlines offensive. Well, which is it, man? Like, you know, if you're going to go, okay, he's Italian, so maybe he talks like this, you know, so he, you know, you praise it and then you say, but Caravaggio might be a little insensitive because he's an Italian stereotype. I just think it was hilarious. He wasn't overly insulted by it, but he did point it out. And I just think that we live in a time of like the PC police. So we all have to think about things like this. Like we have to scrutinize, like, oh, well, maybe it's just a fun way of having an Italian character talk. You know what I mean? That's all I was thinking. I wasn't thinking like, oh, you know what? How would be the most offensive way I could portray an Italian gentleman? That thought never crossed my brain. So I do think it's funny how people see things. So I just thought I'd throw that in as a little aside. So let's keep going here.
Named Oot, and he works with an octopus.
Oh, by the way, Oot, my daughter Amanda came up with the name for the caveman character, which is Oot. And another thing is when you look at the book, there's the number 7 that keeps popping up. And so when Oot was created, she was 7 years old. So it was a 7-year-old that came up with the name Oot. So she named the character, and also his wife. Oot is married and has a bunch of little Oots. And in future storylines, you'll see we're going to illustrate those. And he's a real estate broker in the in the prehistoric time, and so he's very successful. We used to say he's prehistoric Donald Trump, when Donald Trump, before he was president, he was into real estate. So that's what we used to say. And so his wife's name is Lemmy. So like the bass player, Ace of Spades, yeah. So she said Oot and Lemmy. So we haven't introduced Lemmy yet. So I was kind of thinking Lemmy might be one of those characters that we talk about a lot but never see. So that might be fun. So let's continue here.
Alien named Zin. And these are a wacky bunch of characters, and they are, much as the art style, they are very much caricatures. There's not a lot of, this isn't a long story. Chrono Mechanics is self-contained, which I appreciate, but the characters are not as well developed as some you might see over the course of a longer story. They are kind of thin, but they do quite well for the length of the story. So Caravaggio is quite arrogant, and he's kind of stuck up and confident.
So I do want to defend myself here. All that he said, guilty as charged, but it was a decision that you make, right? So if you want to keep something funny and light, you don't really get too deep into people's backstory. So you really don't want to get too deep into a plot or a problem or a character's backstory because it can slow things down. So really, the only character we get into a lot of detail or more detail is Doug, and that's because we're introducing Doug as the new character. So this is kind of Doug's origin story. So yeah, Oot, Caravaggio, and Zin are a little light in the character development, but I do believe every time you see them in a panel, they are true to character, they act in character, and there is little backstory things that are hinted at throughout the story. But you know, this concept is pretty intense. So it almost became like trying to explain the concept. So there are a lot of character beats throughout, but it really is trying to explain like the big machine, what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. So it really was a balancing act to try to get everything going. But I think it mainly focuses on like what is chrono mechanics and who is this Doug guy.
Himself, Oot is a brute, and he just, he thinks with his muscles, and he doesn't really look very far ahead. And Zin is
also, Oot is the heart. Oot is the heart of the team. So, Caravaggio is he picks up on it. Nate picks up on it. Caravaggio is kind of the creative of he's also kind of like Mo from the Three Stooges. He's the natural leader. And so he can create a problem solve on a dime. So that's kind of his thing. And then Oot is the muscle of the team, but he's also the heart of the team. So you'll see it later on. Like I said, there are little beats that give character, but it's not spoon-fed or overly done. So Nate's right, but it was also by design. And then Zin is kind of the spiritual leader. So he's kind of the calm in the storm. So Caravaggio and Oot are kind of ballistic in their approaches, but Zin is kind of the calm, and he's like, well, let's think about it. Let's be rational. Let's be reasonable, like that kind of thing. But, Oot can be agitated and go off as well. So he does have a bit of a temper, but it doesn't fire up as quickly as the other two, especially Caravaggio. Caravaggio actually, he's a little bit more reactionary because he's passionate. He is a passionate Italian Renaissance artist and inventor. So that's those three characters. Okay, let's continue.
Kind of the spec ops spiritualist, and Doug is, this rocker who has a huge fan base and is used to being worshipped and adored. And if I had one gripe about the characters, it would be that they are all, in their own way, very overconfident and self-assured. And I have problems with characters being confident and self-assured, especially if they have a lot of skills to back it up, which all of these characters do. My real problem is that all of them have this exact same character trait. And
well, once again, on purpose, Pamela and I fought on this. Like, should they be incompetent? Should they make mistakes? And we were thinking, no. One of the things, if you're really going to buy this concept, and these guys are the best of the best, the jokes can't be on them. Like, they have to be completely functional. Like, Doug's the one that's not, but the three, those guys are completely functional. Like, they are the best of the best. Team 9.2 of Sector 7, they are the best of the best, and they have the toughest sector to actually maintain, and that is because they are so good. So I did think about, like, you could play jokes at their expense, say they're incompetent, stuff like that, because it could be funny, and also it could be kind of like endearing, like, oh, they make a mistake. But in this story, I wanted them to be completely functional, so they could be a contrast to Doug's incompetence. So that's kind of where I was going with this. And also, I think for you to buy the concept, these three guys, Oot, Caravaggio, and Zin, those guys have to be really good at the job. So there are things that happen that are outside of their control that they have to overcome. But we don't really show flaws in them other than that at times they don't get along. And that's one of the things too. I thought it's very Three Stooges. And then what I added onto it is like the three of them, even when Doug, becomes more part of the team, they're four super egos. These guys are like really, really ego driven. So they all think that they're right. So they do have flaws in the sense that they will fight with each other from time to time, kind of, Stooges-esque, because they disagree. So it's not that they're not good at their job, but they disagree about how to do the job sometimes. So they'll argue, bicker, and sometimes they're actually even physically go at each other, Three Stooges style. So there is some of that in the personalities. But once again, like, this is a 60-page story. There are 4 principal characters. It's an origin story of Doug, and it's a pretty heavy-duty concept. So it is a lot to try to get into a 60-page story. And I think it came out pretty good. And let's continue here.
And that kind of robs the team of some of its dynamics. And then you add in the fact that they have these power suits that they transform into, and give them the strength and some of the know-how they need to do their work. And it starts to feel kind of samey. I mean, they all look the same. They all have one of their strong defining characteristics in common. It's not ideal, in my humble opinion. But at the same time, Chrono Mechanics is more about the story, the plot, the events than it is about the characters. And so I can forgive this for the most part. Again, my biggest problem here is that when they're in the suits, they all look very similar. And really, there's only colorations to tell them apart. That's not as big a deal with, like, Zin, who has blue skin, and Doug, who has red hair. But I sometimes, when I was looking at Caravaggio and Oot in profile when they were transformed, I couldn't immediately tell which one I was looking at. And that's kind of a minor nitpick, but it is important. There's, a lot of action, and those two are together for most of the story, all of the story, really. They're not always in their suits, so it's a lot easier to tell them apart when they're not, because Caravaggio is a small person and Oot is not. But these are issues that the story has.
And that is a good point. And later on, I did kind of redesign some of the characters, so they look, their faces and their hairstyles look more like their core selves. But their body types, the idea is it's a body transformation suit. So to do the job, if you work for Chrono Incorporated, most jobs give you coveralls or some kind of work uniform. So Chrono Incorporated gives them the body transformation suits. So when the suits go on, it also changes them physically. So they're taller than a normal human. They're stronger than a normal human. They have endurance beyond a normal human, because the job that they're doing or asked to do is superhuman. So they have to hit certain requirements from Chrono Inc. to do the job. So that's why they all look the way they do. And that's why I also thought it would be fun to try to do something where they all did look the same, for the most part. There are differences in them, but I think the biggest thing is that Caravaggio and Oot have similar haircuts. And one of the things about the Chrono characters early on is they all had the same haircut. So when they transform, they all have real similar, the hairstyle is the same, everything, but they do carry over some of their core selves. Like Caravaggio has the mustache and the little beard, his eyebrows are a little bit more arched and higher, and he's kind of always looking at you with contempt, so his eyes are always slightly closed. And then Oot's got the scar on the one eye, so his eye is kind of shut. And then he's got the shaving stubble, and he's got a little bit of a bigger chin, actually. And they all have different noses. So Caravaggio's nose is pointed, and Oot's is a little bit more thick and blunted. So there was an attempt at it. And when I did pitch this around to the animation studios and people, they were saying they did seem an awful lot alike. And I told this on another stream. One of the first ideas that I had was to do kind of a He-Man idea. So if there was a toy line, all the body types could be the same. So I thought, well, maybe if I could save these toy companies some money, we could do that, and so all the body types would be the same. But it actually became a really cool story point, I thought, where Chrono Incorporated basically transforms. When they put the suit on, they transform physically, and they all have the same body types, so that they can do the job. And so I like that idea, and I do agree with Nate. And a lot of the executives that I pitched this concept to said the same thing. So when we were at Warner Brothers and we were doing some redesigns, or I was doing redesigns in the character, there are different character designs for these guys that are more like their core selves. And there actually is a story point that was brought in as well that explains that. So one of the story points was that a lot of people were complaining on the job that they didn't look enough like themselves. So one of the things when the new program was enacted, that it brought more of their core selves into their facial features. So when they merged with the body transformation, they looked more like their original selves. And so I did bring that was brought up, and I did work on some versions of these characters and did give them different looks that maybe I'll bring out sometime in the future. I'm not really sure. I do have a story, a Chrono story that I do want to tell at some point, but it doesn't really get into that. But maybe I can weave that into the story. And also, you guys in the comments, let me know based on this review and my review of the review, and let me know what you think, because I would like to hear what you guys have to say about Chrono Mechanics. And if you guys want to shoot videos like this, maybe we could do some of these things more in the future. It could be fun, because I would like to hear what you guys have to say.
And it largely makes up for them by just throwing the events of the plot at you very quickly and keeping the pace moving, which is not bad. That is definitely a storytelling technique to keep people's attention away from the things your story just doesn't have time to do. And honestly, I don't think this story has time to do a whole lot with its characters and get through the story it wants to tell in the pages available. So I don't hold that too strongly against it, but I know there are people who are going to read this and they're not going to like the fact that the characters are a little thin. So in a lot of ways, this is a story about a misfit trying to fit in, and we see Doug falling through the time stream, and he goes to some parallel realities and meets a different version of himself, while the rest of the crew tries to home in on the place where the time breakdown is. They eventually find it.
Doug falls in what we call time mines. So these are like wartime mines that exist in time. And so when there's like I imagine there was some kind of time war, there was a battle at some point. So how like some places in the world there are still mines that are buried in the ground, and they could be active if you step on them. So this was kind of a holdover from some kind of time war. And so we don't get time to explain them fully, but I just thought calling them time mines, and then when you step on them, you blast through time, but you blast through all your timelines, your alternate timelines. So you can get lost in a series of these blasts. So it's kind of like it's a point of no return. Like you just kind of keep going deeper and deeper, and each time you kind of go into another version of you, like an alternate timeline, an alternate character arc, I guess, like different paths that the character might have taken in his lifetime. So we can get into some fun stuff where we can explore like maybe alternate Dougs, like what if he would have done this, what if he would have done that kind of thing. So the time mines was a way of explaining that. And the one thing that it does sadden me that I didn't get to have more time to explain like what a time mine is. So that's why I'm doing it right now. So you guys, when you're reading it, you can go, oh, that's what a time mine is. It was kind of a holdover from like some kind of war. And when there's these anomalies that happen and time starts running amok, they become apparent. And so they become active. So that's kind of what that story point is.
And they work on fixing it. Meanwhile, Doug gets his suit hooked up, and things eventually work out. It's a rollicking good adventure time. It is an interesting case study in how adventure plots, especially pulp adventure plots, which is what this is, use excitement and
Nate gets it, man. Thank you, Nate. Yeah, pulp adventure. This is just kind of a good fun action adventure. Put your brain in neutral kind of thing. Don't scrutinize the tech too much or the you know, I don't know. I think sometimes to keep things fun, you can't scrutinize them too much. You can't get into like, oh, Peter Parker gets bit by a spider, but like a radioactive spider, but doesn't get sick and die. Like somehow he gets these spider abilities and survives. You know what I mean? Like at some point you have to just suspend disbelief and go, okay, it works. So I like concepts like that. Obviously, I like comic books. I like these type of action adventure stories, and so most of them share at least one major suspense of disbelief. You know, or suspend of disbelief, where you have to go, okay, Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. He's a billionaire, and he dresses like a bat and fights crime. Um, it's not a normal thing for a guy to dress up like a bat and go fight crime. So that's a major jump of logic for most people. So I think comic books, most of my favorite comic books, all have that in common, where there's just something that's unexplained or something that just exists. And either you buy into it or you don't. You know, that sometimes it's just as simple as that, because if you use too much logic and you use too much real world thought work, it just falls apart. And most of these type of concepts all fall apart. That's why I brought up Spider-Man and Batman, because most people like them, you know, universally, but they both have something in common where you really do have to suspend some serious disbelief.
And pacing to make up for some of their other failings. And Chrono Mechanics, I think, definitely does that. It's fun to see all the different things that happen. It's fun to see the time travel. It's fun to see the rival time fix-it company. And it's fun to see all the ideas and the inventive machines and other things that are happening. If I had one gripe, it's that like Doug's defining character trait is his good luck. Well, his defining skill was his good luck. He's also a musician, of course. He had a huge fan base in the 70s, but that's not really part of what he contributes to the team, and that kind of disappointed me. I would have liked to see that be part of Doug's contribution, rather than his, just freakish good luck.
Okay, I do have to speak, Nate. Good call. Good call. I think if I was to give you one like major kudo and maybe a misstep of mine, is I really did want to bring in to Doug that he solves the problem through his musical knowledge. But also, that's a moment in time. The luck thing is going to continue as a character trait. And he is going to get better as a mechanic as the story goes on. Like I said, spoiler alert, you guys. But as he goes, you're going to see him step up and become a better mechanic as time goes on. So one of the things in this story, the foreman tells him that your training starts tomorrow or starts today. So he's going to go into full-on mechanic training mode. So the only thing he really had to bring to this story, because he's not a trained mechanic, was just his crazy dumb luck. So I think it does fit for this one adventure, but I would have liked to have it somehow become more like, music oriented. So if you guys got the movie script that was one of the stretch goals for the book, I think in that movie script, it has Doug actually solve the problem as a musician, because I think what I came up with, because it's been a while since I read that script and worked on it, is that he tunes the big machine like a guitar. So one of the thing about combustion engines is there's tuning. So you have to there's a timing, and there's a way to tune the engine so it fires in proper sequence and things like that. So one of the things in the movie script, again, spoiler alert, if you haven't read your movie script, is that Doug tunes the big machine. So because of his dumb luck, he realizes that the machine is out of tune. So then he tunes it like a giant guitar. So there's like these tuning keys, and he gets a wrench on there, and then he tunes them by sound. So he's so innate. And the setup is that he has like this almost superhuman way of knowing if like a frequency is in or out of tune. So that is the setup in the story of the movie script, and then it pays off at the end. But a movie script, you can also get into more detail, than you can in a comic book. So I did think about trying to bring that into the comic book, but it was a little hard just because of the time. So it would have had to been set up, and then it would have to be paid off here. And I thought the dumb luck was an easier way to explain it and quicker. And I think it's more fun too. Like he has no skills, no real skills. He's just kind of like, he's good at playing guitar and can sing. You know what I mean? And that's about it. So it wasn't necessarily like he honed those skills or anything like that. He just kind of had those as natural ability. So one of the other things he has is that he's impervious to being hurt, really, especially with the suits on. So somehow he can inevitably, like in the setup for the character, is that he really kind of avoids potential death in a lot of situations. And that's due to his dumb luck, but he also has that trait. So one of the things about the mechanics is that Team 9.2 of Sector 7, they also lose a fourth member a lot. So Miguel, the Spaniard that once again, spoiler alert, that dies at the beginning of the story, they've had that happen prior to that guy as well. So Team 9.2 is always been comprised of Ut, Zin, and Caravaggio, but they've always kind of had a fourth member that has come and gone, and usually that member ends with some kind of demise, like the character doesn't live. And we're going to get into that in future storylines as well. Because I always thought like Spinal Tap was fun, where they always had the drummer that would mysteriously die. So they never had the same drummer throughout their history. So that's kind of that idea that they kind of keep replacing a fourth member. And also I thought it was fun because I'm a big Three Stooges guy, and that the Stooges always had like a third Stooge. Like there wasn't always the same team. So there was the original three. Actually, Shemp was one of the original. It wasn't Curly. So it was Shemp, Mo, and Larry. And then Shemp left for a solo career because that guy was pretty popular. And then the other brother, the other Howard, came in, and that was Curly. And then when Curly had his stroke and couldn't do it anymore, Shemp came back into the Stooges. And then after that, they kept, then Shemp died, and then they got another member. So it was kind of always Mo and Larry. So Chrono Mechanics is kind of always Ut, Caravaggio, and Zin. But Ut and Caravaggio are kind of like the Mo and Larry of the team. Just because I really love the Stooges. I think they're hilarious.
But on the whole, it's a good story. It's a fun story. It has mind-controlled T-Rexes and squid aliens and...
Yep, mind-controlled T-Rex is right there, man. Right there, worth the price of admission.
Power suits, and I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed reading it. So I would recommend it to you if you're a fan of action-driven stories or adventure-driven stories, and you can really lose yourself in that, and you don't stop to dissect characters too much. If you really want to stop and dissect characters and revel in them along with your adventure and whatnot, Chrono Mechanics is not an ongoing series. It's a one-and-done kind of thing. So it's probably not going to scratch your itch too well. That's unfortunate because I think Art could have kept working on this and made something really special in time. Because he definitely has writing chops, and he understands how to characterize his characters in art and in dialogue very quickly. And I think if he had kept going with this, there would have been something really, really cool to see. But what we got is not bad. Let's talk a little bit.
Okay, I do want to defend myself here. This is just the tip of the iceberg with this concept, though, you guys. So this was just a taste. So I do want to revisit the universe, and I do want to tell more Chrono stories. So a lot of those things that we talked about in this stream will be introduced as we move forward. I also think that that's like, you can't really completely develop a character in a 60-page book unless it's like a solo adventure. But this is 4 characters, and then there's the supporting characters, the 3 supporting characters that work for Chrono Incorporated, which is the Foreman, Skippy, and Eugene. So there is quite a bit going on, and I do want to revisit this stuff. And but I tell you one thing, the pacing, I just have an innate sense of pacing, and I like things that move. I don't like when things slow down and we have a lot of explanation. And if there is explanation, I usually like it when things are moving from point A to point B. So that's just kind of my tastes. So even with black and white, it doesn't slow down a lot to explain things. It kind of just keeps moving. I'm not sure at this point if it's a negative thing, like I'm just not telling a good story. Because I'm aware of it. I just don't really want to tell it that way, because I really don't like talking head comic books. And I think that a lot of the new comic books that have come out recently, I think they're more talking heads. And I think when you see talking head books, I believe in my heart of hearts, it's more of like a writer's ego, because it's a way for the writer to shine, or at least they think it is, because they think the way that they can define what they're doing and their craft is by the dialogue or by those talking head beats. But the thing is, writers like Marv Wolfman, Lin Wein, you listen to those guys talk, they're crafting stories. So when they talk about writing, they're writing great action adventure. You know what I mean? They're not getting hung up on like, oh, this dialogue or this character development. They're more or less getting into, the plots. They're trying to move and craft a good story, and not so much ego where it's like, oh, I'm going to define this with my dialogue. Alan Moore is one of those guys. Alan Moore is the exception too, but there's a lot of people that he has inspired that aren't as good. Because if you think about it, I learned this with what's his name, Bendis as well, that one of the reasons Alan Moore writes the way he does is because he can dictate pace, and he can actually control the penciler. Because if he writes things in a 9-panel grid, like very, very rigid, he gets to control the layouts, because there's very few layouts that you can do with 9 panels. So if you dictate to a artist that there's going to be 9 panels on this page, then there's really only so much you can do. So I do believe it's kind of a way of dictating the visual look of the book. So I'm not sure that they're conscious of it, like it's their ego that's driving it. But the fact is, when you pick up an Alan Moore book, even if you don't know it's Alan Moore writing, you'll be able to tell by the layouts, because the writer is dictating basically what the artist can do, because there's not much else they can do. And if you look at Michael Bendis, the same thing. Like when I was working on Ultimate Spider-Man with Mark Bagley, there were layouts that were very, very Michael Bendis. Like there were double page spreads that there was no reason to be a double page spread. A lot of the times they were just talking heads that were in the form of a double page spread. Well, that becomes a visual language that the writer gets to dictate. And I do believe that Michael was aware of that. So he was trying to dictate like a visual look onto the book. So I do think there is some of that. And the generations that came afterwards, I don't think are as good at the dialogue, but they still attempt it. And I think that's unfortunate. So I'm kind of the opposite. I don't really want to have too many talking heads or get too heady with the concepts. I want them to stay fun. I'm going to say superficial, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean where you just kind of go along with stuff. Like I mean, Star Wars, the original trilogy, the three, not the Phantom Menace stuff, the ones that George Lucas did originally. Those stories are pretty superficial. There's deeper stuff behind them, and there's things that you can read into the concepts, but they're not really deep unto themselves. They just kind of move. And so that's the type of storytelling I like. Big Trouble in Little China doesn't spend time explaining the world or why or how. It just kind of is. It doesn't really give you too much in-depth character other than the character that you need for the story. And that's pretty much it. And I like that. I like that type of storytelling. And if you do too, then Chrono is definitely the book for you.
The other stuff that came, because I really I like this. There's stuff here that I was expecting and stuff that I wasn't expecting. So first of all, we have some trading cards. So we have one for each of the characters, and we have one that's the cover, and then we have this one, which is just sort of another pinup of the Chrono Mechanics.
That's the pre-launch card.
And then I'll have this nice Chrono Mechanic.
So I wanted to give everybody credit for the artwork. So this is Sean Galloway's Oot.
Logo on the back, and they tell you the character and who did them, or they just have the retrofit there. So that's neat. You have a patch. This is the patch that the characters wear on their uniforms. That's pretty cool. You would arrange them if you did have. This would be, pretty easy to clip on something and just wear it for a little bit, and then if you got tired of it, you can take it off.
Yeah,
which is something that's not easy to do with patches, and I really like that as well. Finally, we have electric guitar pick. Whoopsie, not so lucky apparently, because I dropped it. So it's got Doug and his guitar on it, and as Doug is his guitar pick is kind of a minor plot point.
So you guys, this is Nate's review of Chrono Mechanics Retrofit. So go by, give this video a thumbs up. I should as well, and subscribe to the channel. It's fun stuff. I think Nate got it. I thought it was a lot of fun listening to it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, kind of going over it. So and once again, like I said, if you guys want to do videos like this where you go over the Chrono Mechanics stuff, I would love it, because it does help me as a storyteller, because even though sometimes like the critiques are hard to hear, like you don't want to hear it, it's your baby, you don't want any kind of like negative feedback or whatever, but sometimes it does help. And I thought that he came up with some good points, and I thought he was very fair with the points. So he wasn't just attacking it to attack it. So I thought that was really, really, it was good. Hey, we got Patrick. Patrick Parnell is in the house, in the hizzy, as the kids say, the kids from 20 years ago. So yeah, I'm going to try to catch up with you guys in the chat, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So once again, keep the top, hit that. Oh yeah, please, yeah, hit the like button and check your make sure you're subscribed. I'm losing a bunch of subscribers. One is probably because I haven't been YouTubing on a regular basis, so my algorithms are changing, but two, they clean house every once in a while, which is a shame, but it is the case. And if you know people that like this kind of entertainment, please turn them onto the channel. I would appreciate it. Hey, we got Rob Arnold in the house. So there's an arc where I'm interesting. I think you guys are. Leroy really liked Chrono. Cool. Like the Replicator. Yeah, go check out Rob Arnold's book. Simon Sim, I think you have a book too. I should get some of you guys on again so we can promote. Oh, Candace, I think you posted something on Twitter. Thank you so much. I think I just retweeted that you got your book. So I think you got it for your kid, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you so much. And thanks to everybody, too, for all the the support. Yeah. In the movie script too, we get a little bit more into the backstory of Miguel, and I do want to do a Miguel story. What I fantasized with this campaign with Chrono, but just like Nate said, like these kind of animated concepts, cartoon concepts, they don't have as big of appeal. So sometimes it's as a creator, you're a little bit more hesitant with your ambition, because I can think of a million cool things to do with the concept, but I just don't know if there's going to be support for it. So I kind of wanted to take baby steps with it. And Chrono was a hard-fought campaign. I do appreciate all you guys supporting and helping get the word out, but man, it really was. I think it was a worthy pursuit, and we got it to where it became profitable and things like that. But it was hard fought. So one of the ideas I had going into the campaign was I wanted to do solo adventures of each one of the 4 characters, but the 4th one was going to be Miguel. So there would be Ut, Caravaggio, Zin, and Miguel. So we get those 4 like stories, and they would almost be like stories that led up to the story proper. So they were kind of like day in the life stories that led up to the story that is Retrofit. And I wanted to do that real bad. I wanted to hire different people that could draw in like a specific style that would kind of like suit the character. And kind of like what I did with all the variant covers, and all the superstar talent I got to do that. I kind of wanted to do with those stories. And they were going to be like 8-page stories or 16-page adventures. So just like little one and dones that might actually segue into the story proper. So yeah, there was stuff like that. And I still would like to do things like that. I never really said that Caravaggio was gay, even in the original, but there was definitely it was a little bit more overt in the original. So that was also a point of like going back and forth, especially when I was developing it for animation. So he's just kind of a dapper guy at this point. So he's just a really snappy dresser. Let's just say. Okay. Let's see what Michael has to say. Hail Art UK here. Sent me a package, Chrono Mechanics, tracking label, nothing to do with you, but blah, blah, blah. Transit and Usain with that poster, a bit worried. If you're worried, Michael, please give it a little bit more time, and then just contact us through the Indiegogo, and we'll look into it and see what we can do. And I think when you say poster, are you talking about the black and white poster? Man, I'll tell you, I don't understand the post office. If I did my job the way they do, I wouldn't have a job. Thank you, Sierra Whiskey. I do appreciate that. Background Mechanics here if you still need a copy. And everybody needs a copy. Go get a backup copy. Take care, Candace. Pizza for breakfast. Yeah, when I was a young on my own guy, strapping young dude, I ate many a cold pizza for breakfast. Yeah, cold pizza is delicious. My wife kind of turned me on to, like, I did it when I was younger, but what was it, like, it was a couple weeks or so ago. She goes, don't heat it up, just have it cold. And I did, and it was pretty good. It definitely has a different taste to it. I also like I think spaghetti sauce actually ages better, or at least my wife's does. So like the following week when you have it. I guess maybe the flavors have time to kind of blend a little bit better, but her spaghetti sauce is always great, but you know, a week or so later, it's even better. I don't know how that happens. Got to step away for a minute. Art, do you want me to do a review also? Oh, please. Like I said, man, the more the merrier. As long as you guys enjoy it. I had a good time going over things. No time to explain the timeline. Yeah, that's why I did it on the show here. And I do want to get into that war scenario, you know, kind of hint at that there was this, you know, like millennia like time battle that happened and that nobody was aware of, because one of the things about like Chrono Incorporated and parts of this universe is that there's undocumented parts of the universe. So there's time-free zones. Like Chrono Incorporated, the business, it exists in a time-free zone. So it's not, it doesn't age, and there aren't variables. There isn't a time, there isn't a Chrono Incorporated in every timeline. There's only one, and that's in timeless space. And so there's other things that exist in timeless space as well. So like Quickie Time exists there. That's the rival time company to Chrono Incorporated. If you read the story, you know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, I would like to get into more detail about the time mines and the war and why those things were left and how they kind of appear, you know, stuff like that. Because one of the things we could do, it would be very simple, is their job is to go into a certain sector, you know, the you know, Team 9.2, and they have to retrieve some of these mines, or there's going to be some kind of construction or building, or like part of the machine is it needs to be built onto, so they need to clear an area for the construction, but it's in a time minefield. So when they're clearing the minefield, they can, you know, you can find out the origin of them in a way that we can explore the idea more so than in this. I did love the idea that there's like these time mines, but there just really wasn't. The thing is, there kind of is. You can make time for the explanations. You can do that, but Doug wasn't in a place that he could explain it because he didn't understand it. So I thought it kind of worked just as an abstract idea, because Doug wasn't. He doesn't understand what's happening. He's new to the whole, you know, Chrono Mechanics universe. So he's Alice in Wonderland. He's you know, the what's her name, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, you know, kind of thing. So he has no idea what's happening. Art, when do you get your ideas? In the shower while you're playing drums, in the T-Bear vault? I get them all the time. It doesn't really have a time or place. So it's kind of 24/7, but they do come more in when I'm quiet. So if I'm kind of, and I'm not quiet very often, just ask my wife. So when I can kind of relax and I'm in a quiet place. Also, when I'm in that frame of mind, I can actually create better as well. Less distractions. Okay, what's a time mine? Again, there's no time to explain. Yeah, give me a bunch of crap. I tried. There's nothing wrong with dressing like a bat, so we're back on the Batman stuff. Bat dressers can't be bad dressers. And you guys give me shit for dad jokes. If you haven't picked up a Chrono Mechanics copy, yes, what are you waiting for? It's printed, ready to ship. Back it here. Thank you, Sierra Whiskey. You are my new best friend. I'd like to hang out with you before we ship off to Texas. I have a good time with you and Pixel Trader. I'll be reviewing Chrono Mechanics when I get it. Oh, cool. Thank you, George. I appreciate it. Yeah, and send that to me and make sure, you know, you tag me in it. My engine is putting out a G sharp. I want to drop it to a D. Yeah, yeah. He's got perfect pitch. Exactly. That's kind of the idea. If you read the movie script, I think the movie script did a pretty good job of it. Is that why you have a shimp haircut? I don't have the shimp haircut. What are you talking about? Shimp's got like the long hair on the sides. Shimp looks like a grunge guy. The Stooges are awesome. Yes, they are, my friend. Of course they are. Do 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 do. Okay, let's see. I'm still watching for EVS auction. Pieces sent out August or October 26th. Are those the ones that I have to send you? If so, you could double check with Pamela just to make sure that those are in the box. I think she's got everything, Kevin. Everything that you've ordered, not just the Chrono campaign, but others as well. So I do appreciate your patience on that. I think we were trying to save in shipping. I'm not sure why everything. I'm not even sure that it didn't go out as you were ordering it. I'm not really sure of the details of how Pamela works things out. Art, you know, you put product in your hair. Be real with us, Art. Come on. No, I could take the camera into my bathroom cabinet and I could show you there's absolutely no product even in there. I don't own any, as they say. This is all natural. I think my hair is wet. I just got out of the shower before the show. So maybe that's what you guys think is product. I still got 6 hours. 6 hours of what? What, Sheldon Martin? What, I ask you? Sierra, yeah, Art. We have to get together before you go. I think I have at least till the end of November, possibly first week of December, but it will be sometime in December if everything goes smoothly, which I'm hoping does. Mel Gibson produced a Three Stooges TV movie way back when. Remember, Art? I wanted to see it. I don't know if it. I thought the casting was pretty good. And I know that Mel Gibson's a big Stooges fan. I love documentaries on the Stooges. One of my favorite shots, like they have photographs of those. They're all brothers, like the Howards. So Shemp, Larry, and Moe, those guys are brothers. And so Larry is the Curly. Yeah, Curly, Shemp, and Moe are brothers. Larry's the outsider, but Larry was like a brother. He hung out with those guys all the time. So there's pictures of those guys barbecuing in their backyard with their family around, little kids and stuff like that. So can you imagine like 3 or 4 families of Stooges, you know, all their little kids and stuff playing around the backyard? I always thought that would be surrealistic, or for like, you know, like a little kid to be, you know, at school and then, you know, it's like, what does your dad do? My dad's Moe from the Three Stooges. He perfected the eye jab. I just think that would be hilarious. You guys are all wrong. You guys are completely wrong. If this was a game show, I would have a buzzer and I'd be wrong. Get off the show. You lose. You lose. Brill Cream. Do they still make that? How old are you, Rob? You're not old enough for that. Oh, we got Michael Bancroft. We got all the talent in here today. Respect your elders, Rob. Yes. Listen. Wait a minute. I think that was a compusalt. I think that was a backhanded compliment, Michael Bancroft. You SOB. Michael and I have a love-hate, but Rob and I, we're thick as thieves. We're like this. But Michael and I don't know, man. It depends. Michael's like a Jekyll and Hyde guy. Like 1 minute he's like the nicest guy in the world. The next minute he flips on you, and he's just mean and angry and savage. I don't know if it has to do with alcohol. I think he's nicer when he's drinking. See, you didn't think I was going to go there. You thought I was going to say he's mean. He's a mean drunk. No, he's not. Oh my gosh, you guys are obsessed. Will Art get a haircut before he moves to Texas? Place your bets. Well, it's open now. Salons are open, so I don't have to break the law to go like some kind of speakeasy through the back door. I'm so tired of this crap. We need to get back. We need to get back to work, people. Artie Bear, are you going to work on black and white anytime soon? Yes, I am. And you know what? I'm just going to show it. It's pretty cool. Let's see if I can find it. I got a bunch of layouts here. Oh my gosh, where are my layouts? What the heck is going on here? I was just working on those guys. Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Everything's in front of me, you guys, but I can't find anything. That is so weird. Let's see. Oh, are these them? Okay. Yeah, so what I've been doing is just doing, I'm trying to, in my time, just like thumbnailing stuff real quick. So these are really, really quick thumbnails, you guys. So I'm just kind of doing little sketches, trying to get, figure out stuff. And so this is the scene I'm working on right now. So I had more of a clear idea here. So I don't want to spend too much time on them because I don't want them to be a spoiler alert. But yeah, I am working mostly on just the craft of the story itself, of volume 2 of Black and White. So I'm really hoping end of the year, early next year to put the campaign up and to try to get as many pages as I can done before I do that. So yeah, this move definitely put a kibosh on it because I wanted to do it. What did I say? Like October, November, or late December. Speakeasy bar. Yeah, it was when they had the California lockdown, man. Hey, Eric Ninotalski, what's up, brother? Without conventions, I don't get to see you very much anymore. Eric's a local guy, so I think we do Comic-Con Revolution and WonderCon. Not together, but we both do the show, and we usually see each other at the show. I think at Comic-Con Revolution, we were at the opposite ends of the table or the row. And so it's always good to have somebody like that you know and trust, because when you need to go take a break, a pee break, or get some food, you can go, hey, could you watch my table? You know, and then vice versa. So you watch their table. So it all works out. So yeah, I miss your brother. I do kind of miss cons too. I miss the interaction. So it's fun, you know, within the chat and things like that. But there's kind of an energy that cons have. So I kind of miss some of the shows. So will you see Juju and will she be in issue 3? Juju's going to be in the next story arc. So we are going to incorporate her. And I have an idea for a teaser or setup in this story that I'm working on. So volume 2 may have some foreshadowing for Juju in the future. So she's a great character and she's definitely going to be utilized. And she ties on into Reed's past and his past with his father and MI10 and things like that. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, no WonderCon this year. Yeah, we hung out too. I don't think none of us went out to dinner or anything. I think no, we did. Or was that I think that was San Diego. San Diego Comic-Con, we ended up having dinner together and waiting forever to get in. Yeah. Never have Mike S. Miller set up dinner plans. That's a jab, Mike. Everything's said with love. Love and severe contempt. Nah, no contempt. Mike's a good guy. And the food, it was worth it, man. The food was pretty good. Just ask Sierra Whiskey. I'm writing that down, LOL. Yeah, you better. That makes me very happy. Yeah. It's a great character. And like I said, it does tie into Reed's past, which is good. That's funny. That is funny. We got to stream again. I think Eric and I did a couple live streams a year or so ago. I can't believe I've been streaming for multiple years. I should be way better at this than I am. Metatron's Cube says, I got my Chrono comics 2 days ago. Awesome stuff. The patches and the pick of destiny. Very, very cool, my friend. Very cool. Sheldon's still on the hair stuff. Can you watch my table? I got to put Vidalsa soon in my hair. You know, not bad, but not one of your better jokes. Okay, so I'm going to start wrapping this up, you guys. So thank you so much. The Chrono Mechanics link is in the description. You know what? I think I had some business I wanted to go over. So maybe I'll do it this way. And instead of just a big, quick drive-by, I'll go into a little bit more detail. So this is Chrono Mechanics Retrofit, you guys. The link is in the description. We have 717 backers. There's room for more, definitely room for more. And there's all kinds of great tiers here to check out. Some of these tiers are going to be adjusted, possibly go away, and some new ones are going to be added once things settle down in my life. So yeah, go ahead, click on the link and see all the original pages. And then you can also see the variant covers in better detail. There's the work in progress art book. You can order that. Here's some of the pieces of artwork that are going to be, or that are in the work in progress book. And then here's the superstar talent. So these are the variant covers. So that is Sean Cheeks Galloway's Oot. This is Tom Bancroft's Doug. This is Aaron Lepresti's Zin after Bernie Wrightson. And this is Carlo Barberi's Caravaggio, and with my inks on them. So that was fun. So yeah, so that's the campaign. We are in demand, so don't let that slow you down. If you still want to pick up a copy, come by. Like I said, various tiers to back. Each one of the tiers comes with its own trading card. So if you back the main book here, you get the team trading card. If you back the work in progress, where's the work in progress? Oh, it comes here with the book. That comes with the Eugene trading card. And then the variant covers comes with, each one comes with an accompanying card. So the Caravaggio variant comes with a Caravaggio card, Doug with a Doug, and so on, so forth. You can get 2 of each, and you get a little bit of a savings there. And then the ultimate tier comes with everything. There's a set of mini prints which printed up killer. They came out so cool, you guys. And also the ultimate tier comes with all of the trading cards. So there's 10 trading cards total, and 4 of them you can only get in this tier. So we did have some original artwork that maybe I'll post some more soon, but that's pretty much the campaign at this point. So yeah, you guys, please check it out. A lot of cool stuff. And there's this, oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I just kind of burped. I don't promote this, and I should, because I'm also thinking about doing some kind of Black Friday sale. I usually do one, and I've been really behind on everything. So I haven't even had a chance to update the site. Look at this. I still have black and white stuff up here. I don't even have Chrono Mechanics stuff. So what this is this is artbytbear.com, and this is mainly all my original artwork. So this is 35 years of artwork. So you can go in and you can join the newsletter, which will give you a heads up when new things happen. So when my commissions list opens, or I'm going to launch a new book, just anything like that. If you guys are part of the newsletter, I do apologize for not updating it. It's just been kind of one thing after another. So I have original artwork. So I think most of it is DC Marvel stuff. I don't think there's anything else in here. But like I said, it dates back 35 years. So there's X-Men stuff. Let me click on the DC so you can see. So all the different Action Comics, Adventure Comics, Aquaman, Batman Arkham, Arkham Knight, and then Detective Comics, Batman Robin, Geyer, Batman Wildcat, Brightest Day. I have a few pages of that left. Catwoman, I think I did with Aaron Lopresti. Death and the New Gods with Jim. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. The guy that created Thanos. Holy crap, that's horrible. Deathstroke, Doc Savage, Doom Patrol, Flash, Future's End. I think that was with Aaron Lopresti as well. But History of DC Universe, I think that's with Dan Jurgens, JSA, Katana, Lois and Clark, Poison Ivy, Hawkman. I think Rob Liefeld was writer on that. And Superman, Superwoman, and Super Sons, of course, Super Sons, some Teen Titan stuff, Trinity, and World's Finest, New 52, and Villains United. So yeah, so there's the DC stuff. I don't have as much Marvel stuff anymore, just because most of it's sold out, and I haven't worked for Marvel in 20 years. Well, I don't know if it's been 20 years. It's been at least a decade. So, and I don't miss it at all, especially the new Marvel. So there's Alias Bishop, a lot of Bishop pages. I got a lot of Cable pages. That's from the day. Those are my pencils and inks. Captain America Crimson Dawn, which was a cool miniseries. I think I did one issue of Iron Man, so I have some pages of that. The Call, that's with Dave Finch. X Factor, X-Men. I think I have some Carlos Pacheco X-Men pages. Ultimate Spider-Man with Mark Bagley. Ultimate X-Men with Adam Kubert and Dave Finch on Ultimate X-Men. And some Uncanny. I think I still have some Will Spertasio pages. Those things are really expensive. And some Heroes Return pages. So that's just some of the original stuff. And then I have a series of prints. So if you can't, some of the original artwork's a little expensive, but if you want some really high-end prints, I have a bunch of 11 by 17, and these are like kind of on thicker stock paper, so it's not flimsy paper. I don't know what they call it. It's not card stock, but yeah, there's a lot of cool poster prints here. They're all reasonably priced. And some killer stuff. This was an Extreme Studios limited print that I did for the little tour that we did, the Extreme Studios 25th anniversary tour with Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios. So I made a commemorative print since Black and White's origins are at Extreme. And so then this is, I asked DC if I could do a print of an Action Comics cover I did. So I did pencils and inks on this, and these are original colors. These are not the colors from the cover. So I was never really happy with the colors that I was assigned. So I hired Thomas Mason to do some colors, and I art directed, and he hit this thing out of the ballpark. Really cool. And also I have permission to put the DC logos and to do this stuff. So a lot of people do prints and stuff and they don't really have the blessing, but I do. So that's why I got the Marvel and the DC logos on there. So I don't have Star Wars. I did that. So I don't know if I was breaking the law or whatever, but I did use the Star Wars logo just because I really dig the Star Wars logo. And so, of course, there's Cable, and this is kind of a reimagining or a what do they call that? Where I digitally re-inked from the original scans, and I still have this original piece of artwork. So I scanned the original, and then I cleaned up the inks, and then I had Thomas Mason add some new colors to it. I think it came out great. It looks so cool. Oh, I thought it got bigger. It does not get bigger. So let's go back. That's a newer version of Cable, but this version is the 90s, I think 93 version of Cable. There it is. And so then there's the Spider-Man. I think that came out pretty cool. That's Thomas Mason on colors as well. I wish Thomas didn't have a problem with Comicsgate, because I absolutely love his coloring, and I thought we were a good team. So I do miss Thomas, but he's got some pretty rigid political beliefs, and he could not look past the fact that I might actually like Donald Trump and Republicans. So apparently Democrats, they're all or nothing, or some Democrats, not all. So a lot of people asked me to do a retro Nightwing, and this is, I don't know if you guys know the story. Tom Grummett and myself were asked to design a Nightwing costume, because I was going to do a Nightwing miniseries that I was writing, penciling, and inking. This was right before Cable. So it was all green lit from DC and everything. And there were write-ups in Wizard Magazine and all kinds of, like Titan's Tower was doing articles on it and things. And so I got the blessing from DC and from Marv Wolfman. So in that story, Dick Grayson was going to propose to Coriander Starfire. And so I remember talking to Marv about it and everything. So it was going to be a really cool story. I should do a live stream where I explain the story. I'll write that down. That could be a fun live stream. And so I did get some requests, because I did a Nightwing retail poster with the design I did. And so this was the design. And so I did this piece up so people could see that Nightwing version again. So I used to refer to the George Perez one as the Disco Elvis suit. So I kind of took that and kind of ran with it with this one here. And I think Tom and I came up with similar looks based on editorial descriptions. So I think he had, like, Nightwing had a ponytail, and I think there were some other little deviations from the design. But if you look at my original, like, Nightwing poster from '93 or whatever, that's pretty much the design that I came up with. I think it's funny that they were really, really similar. But this is cool, because this is like an updated line work and sensibilities to the design. So here's a Justice League. I always like the Brave and Bold Justice League. So I wish they would go back to that. I really don't care for Batman and Superman in the Justice League, especially Batman. I like these guys. I think I threw Adam in there just to throw the Adam in there, because I like that character. But I think if you have these characters, this group of characters, they all work well with each other. I think Superman and a team is a little too powerful, especially when you have Wonder Woman and you have Martian Manhunter. It seems redundant. And then Batman, I never thought fit in with a bunch of super powered characters. I always thought if he was in the Justice League, he'd be more of a behind the scenes guy versus an active boots on the ground kind of dude. So that's just my personal feel and take on the Justice League. So I did this, and it's obviously the Justice League of America, not just Justice League. So I got hired to do this. This was kind of a take on the Will Spertasio Uncanny X-Men cover that he and I did. And this was the first appearance of Bishop. So I got to pencil it and ink it up. I was really, really happy with getting this assignment. I thought it was a lot of fun to go back and kind of take these characters and put my spin on them, based on, the original drawing that Wills did. I thought it came out pretty good. So this is a Wonder Woman, very, very sweet. Everybody's like, oh, she's the very, very sweet Wonder Woman. Yeah. And so there's the sassy Power Girl. And this is my favorite drawing I ever did of Superman. I think it came out so good. And once again, these are all Thomas Mason on colors. So he did a bang-up job with that. And there's Wolverine. I like the composition. I actually like the Sentinel a little more than the Wolverine pose. But yeah, and there's Batgirl. Wow, I got a lot of prints here. Oh, then it comes back to the beginning. So yeah, there's prints, and then there's commissions. So the commissions list is not open, but like I said, if you go to or sign up for the newsletter, when the commissions list opens, you guys will get first crack at it because they usually book up really, really quick. I just haven't had time to do much of anything, sadly. But yeah, I have full like 11x17 commissions, and those are like cover quality. So those are like how I would do an actual cover. And then the con style is more like brush and wash. I don't know if this will go bigger. No, it doesn't go bigger. And those are 9x12s. And then there's like a 3/4, which is not quite a full body. So those are, do I have? Oh, I have this as an example of full figure. I have this as an example of a headshot. And then this as a 3/4. Yeah, so you could go there. Don't ask me right now to do a drawing. I just don't have any time. So if you do sign up, like I said, you'll be the first ones to know and to get on the list, the mail or the commissions list. And so that's pretty much the Art by T-Bear site. Like I said, I never really promote it. But if you want to get original artwork, this is the place to come and get it. I think most of my artwork is up here. Some of the newer stuff might not be. And sometimes I have stuff in the T-Bear vault that I want to keep, but there are times where I just get like a wild hair and I'm like, well, maybe I should put it up and sell it. So sometimes the older stuff does go up on the site. Very rarely, but it does sometimes, because I still have some Whilce Portacio artwork and some Cable artwork and some older Adventures of Superman that I did with Dan Jurgens. There's some other stuff as well that I just haven't made available. I wish I had some Art Adams. That'd be killer. Art Adams or Jim Lee stuff. That would be really, really cool. I love that Batgirl. Okay, let me go back a little bit, catch up, and then I will wrap this up. The Art Father, I like that. The Mafioso. That's the Cable I got. Oh, cool. And misplaced. Well, it's time to get another one. Oh yeah, there was I think I did a show on it where it's the Joker and Harley Quinn drawing that I did, that some site made it into shower curtains. I think there was a t-shirt made as well. So it comes up every once in a while. They get knocked back and then they come back and do it again. Yeah, Jim Starlin is the guy. Thank you. Yeah, he was a blast to work with. Jim's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. He's one of the old school comic artists where he's like, do whatever, just have fun. And I like that. Yeah, you can get the prints signed. Just when you order the prints, Jimmy, just say I'd like it signed, because they don't automatically go out signed. Because some people like it, some people don't. Spirits Car Art draws the most spankable pinups. I don't want to know anymore. It's a family show. The prints make good shower curtains, yes. Let's see. Art, who's the best colorist you ever worked with? I actually really do like Thomas Mason. I'm working with Stefani Renee right now on some stuff. So I really like Stefani's work. He did a Chrono episode too, or issue with me 20 years ago. It's the same Stefani Rene. He's really, really good. And I like Perea. Perea did all the chrono stuff. Brilliant, just brilliant. There was a lot of art direction involved. There usually is with Perea, but man, he comes through. But you know what? To be honest, I did a lot of work with Thomas as well, and both those guys have some mad skills. And I've been working with them long enough that they kind of understand when I say certain things. They're able to do it. Perea did a pinup I did for Kevin Thompson, and it was Judge Anderson, and I put the smoke in the mist that was coming up behind the character that interweaved with the skull designs, and I didn't even have to ask him or tell him how to do the smoke. He just did it. Perea just went right into it, because at this point we have a pretty cool shorthand, which is really cool, and he's going to be coloring black and white too. So Jimmy says, best news got all week. I found out my grandfather switched from Democrat to Republican in 52. He died in 84. And I'm sure then switched back to Democrat. Yeah, well, don't hold it against Grandpa. You know, it's all good. It's all okay. What is with you guys with Vidal Sassoon? Here's a real question. Art Vidal Sassoon or VO5? Which do you use? Neither. I use whatever is in the shower. Sassy bubes. You guys are sickos. Sick. So I think Jimmy's going to order one of the bad girls. Jimmy's got his eye on a bad girl. I don't have much hair, but if I did, herbal essence. What's with you guys in hair? I'm going to have to rename the stream the hair stream. What? Art's the worst at reading chats. Really? Oh, you know why? Because there was a super chat, wasn't there? Oh my gosh. Is that what you're making reference to? I'm going back in the chat. I apologize. Whoever led oh, there it is. Okay. Jeez Louise. Thank you so much, Jimmy Owens, for the super chat. I saw it there, but then I went and shared the screen, and when I came back, the chat had moved on, because after a while, like, the super chats show up at the top, but they don't stay there forever. So thank you, Jimmy, for the $5. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the much needed entertainment. Haven't started Chrono yet, but it goes great with my black and white. Killer. Both crazy different tones, different styles. Chrono first or black and white? Chrono 2 or black and white 2? Black and white 2 is coming out. That's the book I'm working on right now. And I'm gonna announce a person I'm working with very, very soon. I just want to make sure that when I start talking about black and white, that I can kind of keep it focused and keep all that energy moving forward. I don't want to talk too much about it right now, because once I start, I want to kind of create this whole energy and keep moving there. You know, Comic Bob, I've been thinking you and I just need to do a stream, because I really like those streams that you go on, like other people's shows. You're a great host, and you work well as a co-host. So Bob, Comic Book Bob, is a great guy. We do a show called Pontificators together, and he's a big supporter of all these indie books and Comicsgate as well. Art, when's the moving going to be final? Well, the house is in escrow right now, so we just did the inspection yesterday. So there is still, what do? They kind of do an estimate, what do they call it? I'm terrible with this stuff, where they figure out how much the house is valued at, and then that information goes to the bank, and then the bank makes its final assessment on whether they're going to give the buyer the full loan. So the buyer is a VA, so he's a veteran, so he can qualify up to $1 million in the loan, which he's going to need to buy this house. But the value of the house may come in under what we're asking for, because this house got into a bidding war scenario, which means it's not that it artificially gets accelerated, but it goes up higher than the estimated value of the house. So I think these houses were probably 50,000 under what we initially asked for the house. So we upped it by 50K, just asking price. And then we got into a bit of a bidding war, and it went up another 25K. So he looks really good. He's the best candidate for, because we had like 5 or 6 people that we had that wanted to buy the house, that all were pre-approved and came in with pretty good loans. And one of them offered us more than this guy, the VA guy. But this guy had a better loan setup. He was a better candidate. And the other loan that was, or the other bid that was higher, it was contingent on a house sale. So we wanted less baggage, selling the house. Because it gets fairly freaking complicated. Oh my gosh, like when we bought this house, the house that we're in right now, it was 28 years ago. It was one contract. It was probably like 5 or 6 pages, but it was one contract. And then there were a few like little agreements that, like, there were 2, maybe 3 that were like 1-page agreements. Like, you live next to an airport, is that okay? You're not going to sue the city? Yes. Just stuff like that. You live X miles from a dump site. Do you agree to this? Just stuff like that, but not that difficult. 28 years later, man, we live in such a logistic, legal society. It's absurd. It's absurd, the paperwork that goes into buying and selling a house today. It's nuts. So every night, man, my wife and I are going over these different agreements and these different contracts and stuff, just reading through it with a fine-tooth comb, looking up terms when we don't understand it, contemplating getting a lawyer involved. So far, we've been able to do it ourselves, but it's just daunting. It's absolutely crazy. Stefani is that old? I don't know. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he was a little kid when he colored on some of the early Hack Shack Studios books. Who knows? Who knows? So, Sketch Therapy, what's up, brother? I'm very late to important date. Yeah, just to reiterate real quick for you, Sketch, the Chrono books are all out. They're all at the post office, and they're being shipped right this very minute. The only order that didn't go out yet is Kevin Tomsitz, and he knows what's going on. Pamela's in constant contact with that guy. Great guy, big supporter of all the Hack Shack Studios books. So I really do appreciate Kevin. Great guy. So yeah, all the Chrono books are out. They're at the post office. They're being shipped out now. So give it a week or so. If you haven't got your book, then get in contact with us. But give us a little bit of time just to make sure, because everything doesn't get to its destination at the same time. So even though you see people posting like, I got my Chrono book or whatever, there's no real rhyme or reason. Some people get their stuff later than others, especially if it goes overseas. If it goes outside of the U.S., it can take a lot longer. So just give it a little bit of time, and then if there's a problem, just give us a call, and we'll try to let you know what's going on. We'll give you a tracking number and all that other good stuff. So that's pretty much it. And Sketch, I did a little review of a review, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Do I still have this tab open? The site is back to the drawing board, and I think the guy's name's Nate. So he does a lot of reviews and stuff like that. And he did a review of Chrono Mechanics, a full video YouTube review. So it was a lot of fun. So I also encourage you guys to do some too, and we'll do this again. Is Art in the new house yet? No, I am not. And to be honest, holy crap, man, there's so much into just finding houses, because we have a good guy working for us. good realtor, and he's shooting video. Like, we try to narrow our search down to like 2 or 3 houses. So every day, every other day, he goes to the location and he videotapes for us. And it's a big help to have boots on the ground, because some of these houses, they photograph well. They're disasters, man. He has saved us hours and hours of boots on the ground stuff. So I'm real thankful for that guy. And I'll probably give him an extra little nod somewhere down the line, because he's really helping us just kill hours of being in Texas and looking at these places, with our own eyes. So we're still trying to narrow the search. There are so many great properties and great locations in Texas. So we're still looking. Seeing if there's anything that stands out. You guys are yapping amongst each other. Ooh, Terra Wombat rears his ugly head. It's not an ugly head. It's just a wombat, man. It's just a wombat. Hey, Art, late, but they did send me a notification this time. That is good. Thank you, YouTube, for doing your job. Oh my gosh, Sheldon, these boots are made for walking. Really? I am going to get a set of snakeskin cowboy boots when I'm there. I don't care. I'm going to get me a big old cowboy hat too. Possibly a gun rack and a gun. So that's going to be good. Let's see what Sketch says. Very much so, Sir Mr. T-Bear is a very good man, very reliable and talented. Also, OG in Cali knows a bit about Hollywood from living there and working comics. Glad you're here, Michael. Yes, glad you're all here. So very cool, you guys. I'm going to wind down, and I'm going to go touch base with my lovely wife. She's been out most of the day. Snakeskin stilettos. No stilettos for this guy. I don't want to break an ankle. If I was younger, maybe I could pull off a stiletto, but not these days. Not these days. Whoa, I saw Biden. I had to bite. Better get your gun before Biden finishes stealing the presidency. Yeah, before all of our rights are finally stripped away. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Jimmy. That was nice. Please tell Pamela thanks. I will. I know you guys all dig her. She works her ass off, and she's just a great person to hang out with. You know what? If I wasn't married to her, I'd probably marry her all over again. All right, you guys. So I'm going to try to do this, maybe come back with that Teen Titans story, and try to get out more and be part of. I think I did Ethan's stream a couple days ago, and just try to be more active. But it's been very tough. And God, what? I'm not even gonna get into it. I have a feeling it's gonna be tougher too. Okay, if people don't know who Andrea is EVS's wife, and she does similar work to Pamela. So they both they both fulfill the orders and everything and keep track of all that stuff. Pamela also is creative with me. She's my creative partner. So if she's not editing what I'm working on, she's writing with me. So she's invaluable. I could not do it without her. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging. I hope you had fun. I did. It was nice getting out, doing something different for a change. So I had a ball. I always do with you guys. What? No, women are great. Women are great. Love it when you pop into EVS and other channels. Yeah. I like it as well. So I'm glad you guys dig it as well. Okay, so I will see you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and take care. And thanks, Jimmy, for the super chat.